Welcome to Parallel Universe. Two boys from New York City. One from the Bronx, one from Little Italy in Greenwich Village. Both children of divorced parents. Both obsessed with acting. Both willing to do absolutely anything to make it in Hollywood. They did not know it yet, but they were on a collision course with each other, and with history. And the story of Al Pacino and Robert De Niro is without question the greatest friendship, rivalry, and brotherhood that the entertainment world has ever produced. They first met in the late 1960s at the Stella Adler acting workshops in New York, two hungry, ambitious young men scrapping for every role they could find. Pacino remembered the moment vividly decades later. He said he saw this guy walking across the room, not doing anything, not performing, not trying, and yet something came off him that was completely undeniable. That was Bob. That was the moment a 50-year friendship quietly began. And then the competition started. Both of them were considered for the role of Michael Corleone in The Godfather. That role, of course, went to Pacino, and it launched him into the stratosphere overnight. But here's where the story gets extraordinary. The very producer who was blocking Pacino from taking the role needed a replacement, and De Niro walked in and got the part instead. In other words, De Niro's early career breakthrough happened directly because of Pacino. 2 years later, De Niro played the young Vito Corleone in The Godfather Part 2, meaning he played Al Pacino's father on screen. De Niro never let Pacino forget it. He stood up at an awards ceremony years later and deadpanned that he played Al's father, and that Al had looked up to him ever since. Pacino was 3 years older. Both men also auditioned for the lead in Taxi Driver. That role went to De Niro, became one of the most iconic performances in cinema history, and helped cement his place alongside Pacino at the very top of their generation. They were competing for the same roles. They were rooting for each other to win. They were living parallel lives in the same city, rising at the same speed, and somehow never letting any of it destroy what they had. Then came 1995. Heat. Michael Mann put them on opposite sides of the law, De Niro as a cold, calculating thief and Pacino as a volatile, obsessive detective, and directed what became one of the greatest scenes in the history of American cinema. Two men sitting across a diner table, speaking quietly, respecting each other completely, knowing they would have to destroy each other before the film was over. What the audience did not know was that those two men sitting across that table had been doing exactly that in real life for nearly 30 years, competing viciously, respecting deeply, loving genuinely, and understanding each other in a way that nobody else ever could. Pacino put it simply. He said when they get together, there is just a trust there. That they understand this thing together a little bit better than anyone else does. In a world full of Hollywood friendships built on convenience and cameras, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro chose each other for 50 years. And that, more than any role either of them ever played, is the best story ever told.